The call came while I was still in the desert. Static. Then the doctor's voice, low, cautious. "Your daughter, we found her in the senator's basement, barely alive." My throat closed. Nothing moved in me, just silence. Then a whisper, almost ashamed. "It was his son. He's done it before. Police won't touch him." I remember staring at the sand, the heat bleeding into my boots. I felt nothing, not rage, not grief. Just the dull clarity of a man whose world had shifted permanently out of orbit. I told my CO. My voice didn't break, didn't even rise. He listened, then pulled a block of C4 from the weapons crate, pressed it into my hands. "First flight home," he said. His tone was steel. "He won't see morning." The rotors were already spinning. I didn't say goodbye. Flying back, I thought of her small hands curled around mine. The way she used to wait for me by the door, smiling, innocent. That innocence was gone now, stolen, shredded. Not by an enemy I faced on the battlefield, but by the son of a man who swore to serve this country, a senator, protected by money, power, and secrets. The betrayal wasn't only personal, it was systemic. Every badge, every judge, every official who knew and stayed silent had cut their share of flesh from my daughter's body. I replayed the doctor's voice, the hesitation, the shame. He knew the truth, yet whispered it like a confession instead of a report. That told me everything I needed to know. Justice here wasn't broken, it was purchased. I didn't storm in. That would have been too easy, too loud. Instead, I studied, quiet, cold. I traced his habits, the senator's son, clubs at night, a mansion with gates higher than men, guards who looked tough but not trained. I bribed a staffer. The money barely left my hand before she gave me everything. His schedule, his passwords, his weaknesses. I drove past the hospital at night, watched my daughter through the glass. Machines breathing for her, tubes feeding her, her chest rising slow, mechanical. I swore I wouldn't cry. I didn't. Instead, I made a list. Each line a step toward the inevitable. Phones, cameras, security patrols, blind spots. It was surgical work, the kind Mossad trained me for. Except this wasn't sanctioned. This wasn't a mission for country. It was a mission for blood. The difference made me sharper. The staffer finally gave me the footage. Hidden drives, basement cameras. I watched. There she was, my daughter. Fragile, terrified, chained. And him. Laughing, drinking, treating her pain like theater. I didn't breathe. My hand hovered over the screen. This wasn't suspicion anymore. It wasn't rumor. It was truth. Documented. Undeniable. I called the senator's office, told them nothing. I only listened. A voice, tired but rehearsed. No comment. The senator's son is a private citizen. Allegations remain unsubstantiated. Lies stacked like bricks. Walls built to keep men like me outside. But I was already inside. I walked into their mansion dressed as a driver. No one stopped me. Money blinds more effectively than darkness. The senator was hosting guests. His son sat at the table, laughing. The same laugh I had heard in that basement. I set the small black box on the table, pressed play. The footage screamed across the screen, my daughter's sobs echoing through their polished dining hall. Glasses shattered, forks dropped, faces drained. The son froze, stammering. It's not. I looked at him once, just once. Your father can't buy this silence. No threats, no raised voice, just truth, sharp and surgical. The senator's face collapsed. Years of reputation, power, and control bleeding out in seconds. I turned, walked away, left the evidence burning through every guest, every ally, every enemy in that room. Back at the hospital, I sat beside her bed. Machines still breathed for her, but I breathed for myself. For the first time since the call, air filled my lungs without fire. I didn't feel triumph, not victory, only stillness. The boy was finished. Not by my hand, but by the truth he tried to bury under his father's empire. That empire was ash now. I touched her hand, cold, weightless, but still there. No words. She couldn't hear them anyway. The world expected me to explode, to burn, to destroy. But silence cut deeper. Exposure was cleaner. They wanted this buried. I made it eternal. And when I finally stood, I left her hand on the blanket. Because vengeance wasn't the end. It was only the beginning of my detachment. I walked out into the night, and for the first time, I didn't look back.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.